jobs is job one of our Congress in the next term. The second area is most important to everyone who stands with me today. It is our national defense and defense of our allies like the State of Israel. It is time that the people wake up to the fact that this president has been willing to compromise the national security of our friends like Israel and our own. Today, the Huffington Post reported that the president was caught in a candid moment telling the leader of Russia, the incoming president, once he wins this election, he'll have the flexibility to take missiles off the table, to take Star Wars off the table in his second term. I don't know about you, but I do not want the national security of the United States compromised in the interests of political expedience. And that's just what happened today. In 1962, October, a Democratic president placed this nation on the path to war, nuclear war, over missiles in Cuba. How quickly we forget. This president condemns Israel for wanting to defend itself from a possible missile attack from Iran, which is exactly 1,100 miles away, the same distance it was for the Cuban missiles placed that threatened Washington, D.C. We need to be consistent in our foreign policy, to stand with our friends and allies, and to make no mistake about it, Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East and deserves our full and unwavering support. And finally, as with every component of business, gas prices are just one example. But let's talk about that. Then Senator Barack Obama got up and said to President Bush then and Vice President Cheney, you are responsible for the price of gas at $3 a gallon because you are oil mongers. Well, we are approaching a $5 a gallon gas tank now. You tell me, ladies and gentlemen, why is he no longer responsible for that cost? Was it perhaps because he chose not to build the Keystone Pipeline, despite the fact that President Bill Clinton stood up and said, we need it? He's not listening to members of his own party when they call for a reasonable energy approach. We have frozen offshore drilling at this point. We have no hope of getting natural gas production moving in this country. They have refused to talk about nuclear energy. What energy source are we supposed to rely on in the 21st century that doesn't come out of the ground in the Middle East? It is absolutely a threat to our national security to not be exploring alternate energy and not explore the very energy sources we have in this country. We need to start moving in the right direction on those issues. Connected to all this are the suffering of our small business owners and our homeowners, whose tax burdens year after year have gone up, despite the fact that our economy has taken an incredible downturn. Whether it's the price that they pay for gas and oil to be delivered, or the taxes that their government impose on them, or the rigmarole they have to go through to get it. I met with some small business owners just the other day, and they were trying desperately to find the formula that would make it possible for them to stay in business. And they just can't do it. Because the bottom line of rent, followed by purchase costs, followed by taxes, followed by bureaucracy, makes it almost impossible for them to do what they need to do. Hell, the city of New York is exporting its tax services to New Jersey and Pittsburgh. Something's wrong when our tax dollars have to be sent to another jurisdiction because they can't collect them here. I'm running because those three issues, jobs, our national security in Israel, and gas prices and our relations with our small businesses are what are at the heart of the problems that this country needs to solve. I'm asking for the support of my community that I have served and been a part of for a very long time to come out and say it's time for a real change. It's time to send citizen politicians to Washington, not career ones. It's time to talk about our values in our community and remember that God is part of the equation, however we see it. this race will not be distracted by non-issues at any time. We will stick to the message, we will stick to the things that the people want addressed in Washington, and we will not lose focus. I've worked for many years in this community doing public work as an 18B assigned counsel attorney. I've worked in prosecutors' offices. I've seen both sides of the ledger in owning a small business. I know we have a chance now to make a change, and I am very honored to be joined by some incredible leaders. I have my good friend, Congressman Rick Lazio, who's joined us here today. Of course, State Senator Frank Padovan, who served this community. I owe you a great deal, and so does this whole community, Frank. I have been joined by the leaders of the Conservative and Republican Party, Phil Ragusa and Tom Long. I've been joined by former councilman, my predecessor, Mike Abel. I received phone calls today from Congressman Michael Grimm and Congressman Bob Turner thanking me for joining the fight. They are in Congress now working very hard to get some legislation passed. I've been called by Senator Surf Maltese, who represents the western part of our district, and I'm very happy to have had their support as well. And of course, my friends in the Libertarian Party are here as well. The Vice President of the Libertarian Party, John Presida, is here as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, my friends, my family, I thank you for being here, and I want to let you know, we are in this to win it. My council district, my friends in the other districts will be pulling together, and make no mistake about it, this seat, this open, newly created congressional seat is ready for an independent Republican to come in and talk about the issues instead of being a rubber stamp for anyone. Thank you, everybody, and God bless.